All right, everyone, welcome back into another preseason NFL DFS video. Going to be getting into the core plays here for the Patriots versus Eagles showdown slate. I do want to start off with saying, once again, on these preseason slates, the defenses are highly appealing because you're pretty much locking in positive points and you're just locking in points in general. I still do not mind the idea of playing like the Patriots D in the captain spot or the Eagles D in captain spot. Obviously, if you're playing lots of GPPs, you need to get some exposure to those defenses in your showdown slates because they can easily break the slate. Now, there are some really top-end plays in this game because we get the Patriots who, they're pretty easy to predict in preseason. We can pretty much normally tell exactly what Bill Belichick is trying to do in the preseason. So just looking over the snap counts from week one, it kind of went as expected. We saw N'Keal Harry and Wilkerson get a ton of snaps. Now, obviously, Harry didn't do anything with it, but we weren't really betting on that. We were betting on Wilkerson doing that. And he had 9 targets, was able to get 9.9 DK points. That was a nice solid play for everyone in preseason DFS. That's a part of 9 to 5, baby. And then we are looking at kind of the running back snaps. The snap share wasn't exactly there. J.J. Taylor had 27% of the snaps, and Stevenson had 25% of the snaps, but they're highly productive with those snap shares. We'd like to see that. J.J. Taylor had 5 targets, was able to score over 9 DK points, and then Stevenson obviously broke the slate. 10 carries, which is what we expected him to get, but he was able to turn that into one really big play TD and then another short TD. So, those are going to be players I think we go back to the well with. And then just looking at Mac Jones, 56% of the snap share. Love that. That was pretty awesome to see. And then looking at the Eagles side of it. So one thing that did surprise me a little bit is Joe Flacco. He played 51% of the quarterback snaps. That was pretty crazy to me. I didn't see that one exactly coming. I thought that'd be more or less at like 40%. But still, he was able to produce. That's fine. 23% of the snaps, or 23 snaps total. Looking at the receiver splits, though, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside played in 49% of the snaps. Greg Ward played in 47%. Tyree Jackson, the tight end, former quarterback, played in 44%. And that is pretty big because he is looking like he's going to be sitting in this one. So that might open up a sneaky GPP option in Richard Rodgers in this one. Just looking at the quarterback, Jason Huntley, he played in 22% of the snaps before getting banged up. So with that, Kenneth Gainwell ended up playing in 42% of the snaps. He might be a name that we look to in this one. And then just looking at Jalen Hurts playing 22% of the snaps, kind of expect him to play a little bit more. But let's get into that deep dive. We are going to switch up and get into, sorry about that. We're going to switch up and get into the Patriots. So my biggest thing with the Patriots is that they are pretty predictable with what they do in preseason, okay? I do expect Mac Jones to get the most snaps. He played, 52% of the snaps in week one, 19 passing attempts, nearly had a TD, okay? He threw a very nice ball to Wilkerson. Wilkerson made a great attempt to get the touchdown. It was just a good defensive play by the DB. It was just a, quality NFL play as a whole. But I expect Mac Jones stacking with Wilkerson, and then I actually don't mind stacking him with Stevenson and J.J. Taylor as well. Now, Sony Michel might sneak in and get like 8 carries in this one. He had 6. That'd be the worry. Okay, that'd be the worry is that Sony Michel gets a little bit more carries. I just don't expect that to happen too much, but it could. We still know what's going to happen at the end of the game. It's going to be Stevenson really just clocking out the game, okay, especially if the Patriots are up, which I kind of expect them to be. It's going to be Stevenson really just getting those fourth quarter carries and just trying to wear and tear the clock out. We also do know, though, that J.J. Taylor is going to be in on third downs. He's going to be getting those targets like we've seen him get in week one. He had 5 targets, was able to get 5 receptions with that for 31 yards. He also did have 2 carries for 10 yards. He looked pretty good. So, those 4 I really love on this slate. If you want to go with N'Keal Harry, you can. He only had 1 reception, though. So that's going to be the worry with N'Keal Harry there. Really just hasn't been able to get open. That's the struggle with him. And then, honestly, Patriots defense. You could honestly just go 5 Patriots players because we know what to expect from them. And then just fill in with, like, Quez Watkins on the Eagles side of it because I really do like Quez Watkins going into the Eagles side of it. He had 2 plays in which could have been TTs. But that being said, he only had 2 targets, guys. That's the issue with it. So he was able to catch one of them for 79 yards and a TD. That was a short, quick screen that he took to the house. My worry with Watkins is that the Eagles know what they got in him now. They saw that he's able to produce. They might just not play him as much because of that. And that could have happened in week 1 where he only played in 31% of the snaps, 14 snaps. That's going to be the worry with him, okay? That they might just shut it down, save him for the season. I don't really expect that to happen. I think that they need to get some quality series in with their starters, and I kind of expect their starters to play a solid 40% of the snaps. Watkins is a guy that's looking like he's going to be a starter for them, so he's a guy that I expect to get some more opportunities in this one. You could do like a Jalen Hurts Watkins stack there as well. And then just talking the receivers over a little bit more. Tyree Jackson was the only player that had 5 or more targets. You had Gainwell, who was another option that I do like in this one, 4 targets. And then that's it. And then a bunch of people with 3 targets. So that is going to be the worry, is that none of these receivers, even the ones that played a decent amount of snaps, they didn't really get targets. We had Greg Ward playing 47% of the snaps, didn't get a single target. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, 49% of the snaps, 1 target. Fogelham playing over 40% of the snaps, no targets. So that is the worry there, is that these guys weren't really getting that many targets. And they were spreading out. They're getting looks. So it is kind of just guessing a little bit. But, Richard Rodgers might be a nice little 10% GPP play for you guys to really kind of get some leverage, because he had 2 targets, was able to convert that into 2 receptions. Obviously, with Tyree Jackson out, he might get a little bit more work in at tight end, just basically because he has to. But that being said, I do really like Kenneth Gainwell for the running back for the Eagles. I mentioned that Huntley most likely going to be out. The Eagles are going to be banged up at running back in this one. So Kenneth Gainwell, who's a guy that has looked good in camp, they probably are going to want to get some more good looks with him. He had 2 carries, 14 yards, but he also had 4 targets, was able to convert that into 2 receptions for 16 yards. If he continues to get right around 42% of the snaps, which I think he will in this one, he could easily turn that into 7 DK points. And if he scores a TD on a long play, potentially, he could easily turn that into kind of a bigger production day. So just to recap, guys, quick, simple, easy video here. I really like going back to the well with the players that got us there in week 1. That's going to be Quez Watkins for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then just going with the Patriots players who we really like in this one. That's going to be Stevenson. That's going to be J.J. Taylor. That's going to be Wilkerson. And then Mac Jones if you had to go with the quarterback as well. Although I don't mind the idea of just stacking both defenses with those offensive players I mentioned that weren't quarterbacks. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. If you guys are someone that's trying to max enter the mini max or whatever tournaments they have out there, check out 9 to 5 Sports. We have a lineup optimizer out there for you guys. You have to put in your own projections because it's preseason, but pretty much all you have to do is give the players I mentioned a projection, and you're going to be sitting pretty in this one as well. Just make sure to get your exposures to the defenses, especially in the captain spot as well. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, let's keep gashing.